Welcome to FusionFox Talent 360 tutorial. In this video, we will take an overview of compensation and leave element setup. These applications are located in HCM Essential module. Let's start with Compensation Element Setup application. In this application, we can set up compensation elements and also the cost elements. So there are different types of elements we can set up in this application. We will go through one element and we will see how to set up a compensation or cost element. We have to define the element ID, element name, effective from, locale in a local language. If you have a specific name, you can define. Also, the primary classification, whether this particular element is earning element, or deduction, or perk, or cost, or statutory. Statutory means there is a tax-related Social Security or any other type of element, and then secondary criteria is the category where you can define more details about this component, whether it is standard, or tax, or social, or loan, or reimbursement, or other, or overtime, or whatever. Also, you can define the priority of this component if there are multiple components, which component comes first, and so on, from the calculation perspective. And also, you can define the business rules for calculations. Or, if you have a specific formula or calculation method, then you can link it through a business rule, and you can define it if it is required to be included in the attendance system. Suppose if you are using payroll in the system, then if somebody is on LWP, leave without pay, let's say 2 days, then this component amount needs to be reduced for those 2 days or not. So, if I say attendance is required, it means the amount is to be reduced. If I say no, it means, like mobile allowance, a person can use mobile all the time, and even he is not in the office, but he is still available. So in such cases, whatever amount you pay on a monthly basis is the same, even when somebody is on LWP for 2 days or 3 days. If there is any party, you can select it also. Let's say you have a statutory component, or there is a tax authority or Social Security department that needs to be paid. So you can get a separate statement from the system on a monthly basis, and you can use it for filing tax or whatever. Then it comes to other details, like you can also integrate when this particular element is specific to department, cost center, project, or something. So you can define the qualification criteria. And also, if it is a statutory component, you can define the employee contribution, employer contribution, top ceiling, bottom ceiling, and so on. If this component is dependent on other components, like housing is paid 40% of the base pay, so you can define all that. This is 40% of the base pay or transportation plus base pay. Total together, 40% is the housing of both the components, so you can link them. So you can also define the taxation slabs and all. So it is comprehensive in a way that you can define your regular components, earning components, i.e. compensation elements, the cost elements, tax elements, and all types of elements here. Now let's get into the leave element setup, where we can see all kinds of leaves and define all the relevant rules here. For example, we have annual leave, annual holiday. We can define the rules here for annual holiday. So we'll open the wizard here and see how we can create it. You have to define the leave element, and you have to define the leave unit, whether hours or days. Leave type, you have to define whether it is a leave, or it is an absence, or whatever, and in this leave, the deduction is 0, means this is a paid leave. If the deduction is 1, it means it is unpaid leave. When it says 0, it means it is a paid leave. The leave accrual criteria. It is monthly, yearly, or quarterly, or semester, or whatever. You can define accrual type as yearly. This leave is assigned to an employee, and his entitlement is yearly. Yearly, 15 days leave will be accrued to the employee. You can also define the next accrual date, and if this leave can be encashed or carried forward. And when people apply for leave, do they need to have a balance in the account? So you can enable the validation from here. The balance validation is yes, no. For example, I don't have leave balance at the moment, but I will have leave balance in the next 2 months, which will be credited. Can I take the leave at least for the leave for that period? So you can set up this here. Carry forward ceiling. If this leave is annually assigned 15 days, so at the end of the year, this will get expired or it can be carried forward. If it can be carried forward to the next year, then what is the ceiling you can define? Also, you can make it a default leave so that you can see the leave balance at the employee homepage or dashboard. That's all we have in this tutorial, and we will see more things in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching.